All right, we're back, and it's time for movies. So let's do it. We're gonna do this one a little differently. We're just gonna go to save some time. We're gonna go to each person and have them go 5-1, so that this isn't another 90 minutes. Because God, we talked a lot about TV.
Yes, we
It's
did.
fine.
So
It's
Dan,
quarantine.
let's start with you. If you want to go 5-1.
Yeah, I'll go 5-1. So the thing about mine is there's 3 theatrical releases and 2 that were actually made for their respective streaming services. So the first one is The Invisible Man. That came out earlier this year. It's very, very good, starring Elizabeth Moss. If that's where the future of the Universal Monster series is going, I'm very, very much in. Number 2 is Birds of Prey. Harley Quinn movie. Yeah,
that was this year.
Yes, that was this year. The fantabulous emancipation of Harley Quinn. Or did I mess that up? Is the emancipation of fantabulous? I don't know. Whatever. That really long title. But anyway, I thought it was
Something's fantabulous.
Yes, I watched it again recently, and it holds up. It's so good. It's better than Suicide Squad, but that doesn't say much. But it's so good. It's so underrated. My third one is a movie that had no reason to be this good, and that was Bad Boys for Life, which is the third in the Bad Boys series with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. And I did not realize how much I knew I missed him, but I did not realize how much I missed Martin Lawrence until this movie. And he was like, he has some dramatic moments in this movie that are like, wow. Like I'm like, this literally is the best of the series. Like overall, easily the best of the series. The only one not directed by Michael Bay. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not. Anyway, it has the most heart.
He's in it though.
Of the 3, but he is in it. Yes, he is in it, which is cool.
Michael Bay is in it. Yeah,
he's in it, and he produced.
And he gets that like.
He gets
shot around him.
He gets the Michael Bay shot. Yeah. Oh, he's very self-aware, Michael Bay.
Oh yeah.
My second one is the one I don't think you guys have seen, but it was Jingle Jangle, which was basically.
It's on Netflix.
I did see that.
Yeah, you did see it. Okay, it was like basically the history of Black Santa, and Forrest Whitaker plays a toy maker who loses his magic, and his daughter, and then by extension his granddaughter, who comes back into his life. It's a musical, and that young girl is a star. Like I can't think of her name, but wow, what pipes on that girl. Anyway, Jingle Jangle is a Christmas movie, but I still recommend watching it because it was one of the best of the year easily. Very high scores on Rotten Tomatoes too. I was kind of surprised at how high it got. And my number 1 movie was Palm Springs, starring Andy Samberg and a bunch of other kooky kooks. It's a comedy, it's a drama, it's a sci-fi, it's weird. It's very, very weird. It's very, I don't know. I wish I could remember the girl's name in the movie because she's fantastic. Kristen Milotti. Mm-hmm. Yes. She's good in everything she does. So, and Palm Springs is definitely one I highly, highly recommend. Best movie of 2020 so far for me. Wow. I have not seen, there's a lot of movies I haven't seen though this year. To be fair, and I know you guys are surprised that Wonder Woman wasn't in my top 5, but we'll have another.
I mean, I saw it, so I'm not. Not that it was bad. I'm not saying that. Sorry, I'm not saying that.
And
I liked it. I actually really enjoyed it.
I'm not going to do many honorable mentions, with the exception of Enola Holmes, which you guys should check out. The Sherlock Holmes.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a good flick. Yeah. But the honorable mention I want to mention is the other night I watched the worst movie of 2020 by far. Capone, directed and written by Josh Trank, starring Tom Hardy.
Oh no!
It's so bad. You have to see it, guys. You have to see it. It's an absolute train wreck in the best possible way. And Tom Hardy is actually good in it, but it's just so over the top. And because it takes place in Capone's last year when he was dying of syphilis, and he was like out of his mind basically. And it's not as they did a great movie about Sherlock Holmes being like at the end of his life with Ian McKellen a few years ago, where Sherlock Holmes was suffering from Alzheimer's, which obviously for a keen mind like that, it's torture. This is the exact opposite of that as far as like quality. Like it's so friggin' bad, but you guys have to see it. Poor Josh Trank, that dude might be done.
I just picture Boba Fett in my head like Neo in the Matrix, just like dodging bullets. As like Josh Trank is trying to murder him.
I heard Josh Trank on a Kevin Smith podcast, and he actually seems like a nice dude, but at the same time, it's totally. Oh, come on, man, give us something. But yeah, it's so bad. But you guys should see it. You guys should see it. That's it for me.
All right. So Potter, I assume you saw 3 movies this year, 3.5.
I'm in another joke now.
You can censor that, Dan. You can censor
why
it
don't
if you
you
want
tell
to.
us?
Figure it out.
Why don't you? Yeah. Why don't you tell us the 2 movies you saw this year?
Maybe I'll start with my honorable mentions, Kyle, because I have several.
If they're as long as your TV list, we could be here all day.
No. So I saw a total, and this is considering the year we've had. I haven't seen stuff like Invisible Man yet, which I know I will love and will probably be in my top 5.
Yeah, you're gonna dig it.
I missed Call of the Wild, but I know I'll probably enjoy that to some extent. I don't know if it'll be in my top 5 or not, but anyway, so there's some bigger movies, but here are my honorable mentions first.
Can you limit them to like 5 or 6?
It's funny because there's only 4. So I saw a total of 9 movies this year.
Okay,
actually, maybe 10. It was 10, but whatever. I left out an honorable mention.
You hit your head after you
No,
said
I know what I did. We'll get to it. Hang on. We're good. Okay, so Birds of Prey was in my honorable mentions. It was fun. I liked it a lot. I loved the cast. I just couldn't put it in my top 5. Just for me.
That's fair.
Eurovision Song Contest with Will Ferrell on Netflix is
I forgot about that
hilarious.
one. Holy shit, that was this year?
Yeah.
Damn, I have to put that on my list.
It's a lot of fun. Enola
in
Holmes was in my honorable mentions as well. And then we just watched this in Tennessee. It just came out, I think, too, with Lena Headey. Wild Mountain Thyme. So it's on Amazon. Wait, what? Oh, hang on. What?
I hear a no back there.
Sorry. Oh, never mind. Not Lena. Sorry. I was wrong. It's a different actress. My bad. Anyway, clearly I paid a lot of attention. It's a fun movie.
So a dishonorable mention.
Dishonorable mention. No, it's a... What? Oh, Emily Blunt. I'm sorry. That's terrible.
I like Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt is in it. Yeah.
As
Elena shouts at me and I couldn't hear because...
Oh, it's her and John Hamm?
Apparently I can't. Yeah, and he's not even the main character, technically. So, Kyle, I think you would like it. Dan, you would actually, all you guys might like it. I don't know what Russell's tastes are in dramas and sort
is
of
it like a Hatfield
romantic
McCoy
type
kind of thing?
Oh, what movie?
Or Romeo and Juliet?
It's kind of kind of.
But it's land rights in Ireland.
Wait,
yeah.
Can you spell it? Romeo? Wait, what?
No, Wild Mountain Thyme, but thyme is spelled like the herb. THYME.
Oh, Wild Mountain Thyme. I might.
Yeah. It's a fun movie. It's worth a watch for sure. Okay, so top 5. Here we go.
5.
Counting down. Number 5. I these are interchangeable for me. Extraction with Chris Hemsworth is a lot of fun on Netflix.
Oh shit, that was this year? I thought that was last year.
And then also
like to Inception something.
What's that?
Yeah, it's a sequel to Inception.
But I could also interchange that with The Old Guard, which was a lot of fun as well.
I knew that one was this year.
yeah. So either of those kind of top 5. I cheated. Number 4 is...
I love the career that Charlize Theron has now. Where she's she's basically just like, I'm just gonna be fucking badass and deal with it. And
dude,
I'm gonna do Old Guard. I'm gonna do Atomic Blonde. I'm gonna do Mad Max. Like, I'm just gonna go kick some people's ass. Yeah,
she's a badass in Prometheus. Yeah. So yeah,
and she's like, it's also amazing because she's also like one of our best actresses.
Oh yeah.
So like that combination is just like
100%.
She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
I will watch it. That's the thing. Yeah, every time. Number 4 was An American Pickle with Seth Rogen.
I've heard good things.
It's a lot of fun, and it's another one of those that you expect it to be really wacky, zany, super stoner Seth Rogen, but it's not. It's funny without that. I mean, I'm sure he was stoned while filming it.
He's always stoned.
Yeah, exactly. But
fun fact: so is Harrison Ford.
Yes.
Yep. And Seth Rogen's playing himself and his great grandfather.
Yes, although it's
something
not.
like that.
I mean, it's not Seth Rogen playing Seth Rogen, so it's a character. that Seth Rogen is playing, but it's
he's
that
not
character
actually
plus his
He's
grandfather.
not actually playing a pickle. Oh, never mind. I thought it was gonna be like a pickle Rick movie.
So basically
Pickle
this guy who works at like a pickle factory or whatever falls in and is pickled, and then years later he comes back now and meets his like great grandson or whatever, who's also played
because it's his only living relative. And they're the fun thing is they're the same age technically at the time they meet, because he's been pickled. It's really stupid.
Sounds fun.
The premise is stupid, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's heartwarming. So that's my number 4. Number 3 is Bill and Ted Face the Music.
I can't believe I haven't seen that yet.
You gotta watch it. It's a lot of fun. It's better. I liked it more than number 2 personally.
Oh wow, number 2 is my favorite.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I love Bogus Journey.
It's good. And I haven't watched that in a while. I actually, just to help support movies in the time of COVID, I purchased the 3-pack on iTunes, so I got all 3 digitally.
Ooh, nice.
So I need to go back and watch the first 2 because it's been a while.
And don't overlook my butt. Reaping burns a lot of calories.
Yeah, it's good. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of
they did bring death back, right, in this one?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank God.
Yeah.
And I heard they do a sweet little homage to Rufus. So I don't know what they do, but I heard it's nice.
No, it's very nice. And it's not forced. It's just great to see those guys back in the role too, playing those characters again.
They love it.
It still works in my opinion. It's not tired or old. They set it up for sort of a handoff to a younger generation kind of thing if they go forward with a number 4. Also, the tie-in comic is a lot of fun. There's a 4-part kind of lead-in or, set between number 2 and number 3 from Dark Horse. That's fun. Anyway, that's my number 3.
I was honestly waiting for a 4K disc release of it, but I don't think it's going to get one. So I'm just going to have to get it.
I don't know.
I'm have to buy it. I just got to buy it as it is. But all right, sorry. Go ahead, Potter. Go ahead. Keep going.
So
number
2. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I'm on number 2. Number 2
you had 2 number 5s.
I did have 2 number 5s because I'm a cheater.
That's okay.
Number 2 is a Kristen Stewart-led movie that Dan liked too, but I think forgot about, or maybe not. I don't know.
Oh,
it's called Underwater.
No, I bought it, but I haven't watched it yet.
I thought you were going to say the happiest season.
God, you gotta watch it. It's so good. Oh my God, it's so good.
I own it, but I haven't watched it yet.
It is. What?
Although.
Elena says it has like 80 plot holes, but it's
so like if the movie was a boat, it would be underwater.
I get it. I will say this though, and I forgot to add this to my overall list. I did like The Happiest Season with Kristen Stewart. That was a good flick.
Oh yeah, that is a good one. Yep. I like her in roles that are non-related to vampire things.
Most people do because she's very, very talented. She's very, very talented.
She is.
She was also good in Charlie's Angels.
I own that one and haven't watched it.
I would agree. Yep.
I just buy Kristen Stewart movies, but don't watch them. I just store them.
That's weird. So you're a Kristen Stewart collector. God, do we need to have a conversation off pod about this? Or
probably.
No, it's Underwater is a lot of fun. The premise is kind of crazy, and there are some plot holes, but at its core, it's a creepy underwater monster movie with some Lovecraftian type themes and ties, giant monster craziness. It's not Cthulhu if you're thinking that and haven't seen it. I know it's sad,
I definitely
right? But the monster design is awesome, I think. And the way it's both so open and vast as far as the open ocean and the underwater stuff. It's so claustrophobic and creepy. It's like it's a survival horror movie. It's really good. And it's not all about the monsters. It's about the human drama and relationships too. So highly recommend. But my number 1 is the same as Dan's. Palm Springs is just a delight. I love that movie. We both loved it. And as far as a time travel movie, You know, it's a pretty solid time travel kind of thing.
It's hard. It's hard not to nail me with time. Like when you give me time travel and you do it like in a fun way.
Yeah, and also Andy Samberg is just great all the time.
Yep. National treasure.
So the question I have is, movie ends, they're back. They wake up the next morning. What happens if they go to J.K. Simmons' house?
I don't think he's there.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Like so if he's not there, that means he never gets out. So I was thinking about this. If he eventually gets out, he will be there. Doesn't matter when he gets out, he will be there that next day.
Yeah.
So they'd see him and be like, oh, you did get out eventually. He's like, yeah, I was here another 10,000 years. And then finally I'm like, maybe I should learn quantum physics. Or if he never gets out, it's like, well, which day happened?
There's that tag where he meets at the party again. So I think he does get out somehow. I'll have to rewatch it now.
He does meet him at the party. That's right. He does come back at the end.
And they don't recognize, I don't think they don't recognize each other or whatever, which is
but doesn't he have a wound from their last encounter? Like he's either missing a hand or he's got a bandage on or something.
Maybe, yeah. I'll have to rewatch it.
Palm Springs was a while ago now, it seems like, but I have to watch it again. But it's been on the top of my list since I saw it. So
same.
It was a good one.
Yep, it's wonderful. So there you go. There's my top 10 technically. Those are 10 movies right there if you count my double number 5.
Right, 11 with Happiest Season.
That's true. Yep.
All right.
I added that.
No, I know, but Potter said he saw it.
Oh,
yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Continue.
All right, Russell, top 5. What do you got? Or honorable mentions first, and then top 5.
Okay, honorable mentions. Birds of Prey. That wasn't there before until you two mentioned it. I was like, oh yeah, that was this year. That was the last movie I saw in a theater.
I think me too. I think it was
crazy,
for me
right?
too.
And I'm happy that's the last movie I saw in the theater.
At least it was a good one. Yeah, at least it was a good memory.
Yeah, and then my other honorable mention is called Tiger Tail. It's a Netflix film. It came out in April.
Oh, that's right. I haven't watched it, but yeah, it's on my list to watch.
I don't know what that is. What is Tiger Tail?
So it's written directed by Alan Yang, who was the co-showrunner of Master of None with Aziz Ansari.
Yeah.
So Netflix gave him a movie to write and direct, and I don't know if all this is accurate. I'm just saying that colloquially. But so basically, he has a movie on Netflix, been directed by Alan Yang, and it's about it's a drama about a Taiwanese man, and it's like his life. And basically, every Taiwanese daughter who watches this would relate to it because they get to see what their Taiwanese father went through in life. And so particularly my girlfriend loved it, and then like a lot of my friends loved it. And no, it's one of those movies that would never get made or get shown in a theater because it's a drama. And it's a very, very niche kind of movie. Like it's starring an Asian American guy. So that's what I loved about it. It was different. It's a story that you normally won't see. So
that's fantastic.
That's one of the best things about the streaming services making movies is that we are going to get movies like that you would never see in the theater or wouldn't get any marketing whatsoever. Whereas in Netflix will show you, hey, you might like this.
It's the mid-budget movies that don't get made anymore. It's all tentpole massive franchise movies or, whatever else that goes to theaters. So I'm glad those kind of movies get made that now. Same with Palm Springs. That was very much a mid-budget kind of movie that I don't think would have done well if it was in theaters. So that's cool, Russell. I'll have to watch that. It's been on my list and I just haven't watched it yet, but I will bump it to the top.
Yeah, cool. And then the flip side of that one is another Netflix film that came out a few weeks later. Is called The Half of It, and it's written by Alice Wu. She's a Asian director and writer, and so
that name sounds familiar. What has she done?
She did Saving Face, which is one of my favorites. Saving Face is an indie movie that came out in 2003 about these two lesbian Asian girls who fall in love with each other, and it's like all this expectations of what it's like to be a lesbian in an Asian American setting, and I hate to be a 15-year-old boy about this, but I like that movie because you got to see some boobies and sex and stuff. And it was tastefully done because it's an Asian woman directing. So
Yeah.
I'll bet you if it was an Asian guy directing it, it would be.
There'd have been some scissoring. There'd been some scissoring. You know, there'd have been all that stuff.
But it felt authentic. That's what I liked about it. So sorry to sound like a 15-year-old boy, but I like that.
That's okay.
Particularly. No, but it was a heartwarming story. It had a lot of humor, especially the relationship between the mom and the daughter. Anyway, that's another movie from 2003. So that same director and writer wrote and did the half of it, which.
So she's been around for a while. Alice Wu, is that what you said her name was?
Yeah, Alice Wu.
Yeah.
And so this one's a teenage story. So the main character is this. I think she's Taiwanese. But she's this lesbian character, but they never say she's a lesbian like in the beginning. You just figure out that she's a lesbian. You just
as it
figure
goes
it
along.
out.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just part of the world, which is good. It's just it's just part of her story, not the story.
Exactly. It gets brought up into like maybe the second act or third act that you find out she's a lesbian, but anyone who watches it already know, oh yeah, she's lesbian.
Yeah.
Or she's LGBT or bi or whatever.
Yeah.
But like it's about this high school kid and she befriends a guy and it's basically like Cyrano de Bergerac, right? So she helps this guy win over she helps this guy win over the love of his crush. But then she also has a crush on that same girl. So it's like she has it's basically Cyrano, but with the lesbian high school like twist to it. And so that's my other honorable mention. So there's these two Asian American movies on Netflix that you would normally not see in the theater.
I'm glad you brought it to our attention because I'm going to watch them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's called The Half of It. And so, yeah, those are my two honorable mentions. And the film festivals are all canceled this year, so we didn't get to see a lot of films. And so now my top five. Number 5, I would say is Hamilton. I know that it doesn't really count as a movie, but I kind of count it as a movie. That's why it's on the bottom 5.
That's totally fine.
It was
you
released.
Can count it.
Yeah,
Well, it was scheduled to be released theatrically.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So that
counts.
Loved it. Loved that you can get something that's worth $200 to $600 and get it for $7.99 on Disney Plus.
Well, so I have to ask you guys because I'm being a stupid jackass about this, and I'm not watching it because I want to see it live first. Is that stupid? Should I just watch it? Because obviously I'm not going to see the original cast ever.
Yeah, so you might as well watch it.
Just go for it.
Yeah,
Okay.
watch it.
All right.
It's a very good experience because it's a compromise of not being able to go to the theater.
Yeah.
So you get to watch at home and like you get to see close-up shots. You get to see Jonathan Groff when he performs. You get to see the drool come out of his mouth. You can't see that live when you're far away in a nosebleed seat, right? You're $99 to $150 ticket.
I mean, I don't know if I've ever been excited about seeing somebody drool on stage, but
it works for the character. It's an acting thing, not a Jonathan Groff is drooling thing.
I thought he was drooling because
it's part of the performance.
I don't know what I thought, to be honest with you.
No, you'll see it and you'll get it. Yeah.
And I'm actually marveled with the camera work, the crane shots. I don't know what they choose to focus on in the frame. It's a whole nother experience. So it's basically different from a stage experience, and it's different from a straight on cinematic experience. It's a compromise of the two forms.
I hope they do this with the live Harry Potter show because I don't know if I'm ever going to get a chance to see that either, and I really want to.
They'll make it into a movie when the cast is old enough.
That's what I've been saying, but anyway, that's a pod for another time.
Yeah.
All right.
Number 4, Russell.
Number 4 is so 3 of the top 5 are animated films, and so number 4 is Weathering with You. It's directed and written by Makoto Shinkai, who is well known for doing Your Name. And that was a massive hit in Japan. And so Weathering with You technically came out at the end of 2019, but it was hard to get tickets and it didn't actually have a wide release until January of 2020, which is how I got to see it in the theater before the pandemic happened.
Awesome.
And so it's basically about this girl who can change the weather, and it's beautifully animated, and I didn't think it was as good as Your Name, but like, how can you top Your Name? So that's number 4. Number 3, so 2 Pixar movies. Number 3, number 2. So I cannot choose between Onward and Soul. Those two movies are fucking masterpieces. Like both of those movies made me cry. So like that's the barometer. So
Still haven't seen Soul. Damn it.
I haven't seen either of those yet. They're on my list, and I just haven't watched
Onward's
them,
fantastic.
It's
I
so
agree.
interesting because I thought Onward was good. I didn't think it was like incredible.
Oh, I really liked it too.
But Soul was brilliant.
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna spoil stuff, but I would say that
Yeah.
now part of the experience of watching a Pixar film is trying to outsmart the story. Like me watching it, like, oh, they're really pushing this story, but I'll bet you it's not about this. It's really about that. And then they do that, but then they do another thing. And it's like,
oh, where'd that come from?
Outsmarted me. I try to outsmart the story. You all writers do, right? We try to figure out what the theme is.
And I do too.
Yeah. And
Pixar, Pixar is like the king of the like you never, there's a phrase and now it's just jumped out of my head, but the like, shocking but inevitable. Where it's like Coco, like the twist in Coco is so obvious the second you hear it.
Yeah.
But like until they tell you that this is it, I had no idea. I could not even like, I was trying to figure out like, okay, what's gonna happen? It did not once occur to me what the truth of that movie was until they say it. And the second they say it, I'm like, of course, I'm an idiot for not having thought of that. It's so obvious.
I love Coco so much. I'm gonna start crying about thinking about that one right now.
It's a wonderful movie.
So good.
I mean, for me, Coco's still number one, and then like number 2, 3, 4, 5 is now like Toy Story 4, Onward, and Soul. I don't know why the last 2 to 3 years of Pixar movies, just I don't know, next level storytelling, and
it feels like Pixar's grown up with its audience, like because I was like a preteen or teenager when like the first Toy Story came out, and now the movies have only gotten the movies have only gotten sort of like deeper. I mean, you get the occasional Cars and like the Good Dinosaur, but like other than that, the movies just sort of keep getting deeper and more complicated thematically, and like Soul is not a movie for kids.
Like, it's definitely not.
Yes, there's like the cat, but like other than that, it's just not a kid's movie.
Yeah, because it talks about death, but
it talks about death. It talks about like the meaning of life is like central to that movie, and it's just like it's definitely gonna fly over like most 5-year-olds' heads.
Yeah, and definitely like part of the experience is like I can sense manipulation. I'm like, oh no, like especially with Inside Out, I was like, you're manipulating me to make me cry at the apex of the story. I'm not gonna cry because I know you're manipulating me, and then it still happens. I still cry like
Yeah.
Okay, so Onward and Soul were number 2 and 3 interchangeably, and then number 1 for me is The Trial of the Chicago 7, which is I gotta put that high up there because of the experience. I know it's Aaron Sorkin. I know it's Oscar Beatty. It's just, and then you can feel it yourself being manipulated. This is Aaron Sorkin wheelhouse, but I love The Social Network. This is the closest movie to The Social Network, even though that's directed by Fincher. But still, Travis Chicago 7 had Joseph Gordon-Levitt, had an all-star cast.
Yeah, but
it's a crazy movie.
Sorkin's one of those writers that even if it's somebody else directing, even if it's a big name director, it still feels like a Sorkin movie. Sorry, go for it, Kyle.
Go for it.
Also my number 1.
Okay, I had a feeling because Kyle,
nice.
Sorkin's Kyle's guy for sure.
And as you said, everything like
Sorkin's. Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's Sorkin. It's just so Sorkin. It's like at the core of it, it's a like straight white guy who wants to work within the system to challenge the system and change it. And it's like, I don't care if the ending's not what happened. Like, I don't care if he made up the ending. I love that ending. Like, and like some of my favorite parts are like Sacha Baron Cohen and the what's his face from Succession.
Oh no, Succession.
That's a great show.
Two of them
shit,
together.
I forgot about that show. That should be my honorable mentions.
He plays I don't know, but the two, like they show up dressed in the outfits to the trial.
Mm-hmm.
Like the two of them together, which really happened. Most of their stuff actually happened. Like it's just such a like Sorkin movie, and I love Sorkin. Like I am a Sorkin fan, unapologetically. I just like West Wing. I love Newsroom, Sports Night. You know, Molly's Game was okay, but other than that, like,
What is it? Studio on Sunset Strip.
Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip.
There you
go.
Yeah, the actual sketches parts of that were tough, but the non-sketch stuff was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Trial of Chicago 7 is also my number one. I just wanted to mention that.
Well, I guess we
Still
could transition. I guess we could transition right into Yuka because that was his top 5. So there's your number one. Let's go back to the bottom.
Yeah. So my number
your honorable mentions.
Oh yeah, honorable mentions. So Palm Springs is in my honorable mentions, which has been mentioned already.
Yeah.
Some of these honorable mentions. Okay, so I'm going to start with sort of like the bigger one, Mank. On
Netflix.
I
heard about that one.
I really dug it. It's really fun.
I was really disappointed, to be honed with you.
It's like totally fair.
I not that I didn't like it. It was fine, but it was just like, I don't know. I was so excited to watch that like right away, and I did, and I don't know. Yeah,
that's fair. No, I really dug it. The more I think about it, the more I like it. But
it's in my top 12, so it's not like it's like
if I like watched it again and we talked about it 6 weeks from now, it would probably crack my top 5, but not quite. There's 2 documentaries that I thought were particularly good this year. One is called Boys State.
Oh yeah, I know what that is. Yeah.
About this program, and I mean they do it in multiple states, but in Texas, this movie is about the Texas version of this, where they take a bunch of like 17, 18-year-old high school boys, bring them all up to the state capitol in Texas, and they choose parties, they choose platforms, they run a governor and like, you know, all these offices. And it's just like this microcosm of like what politics is today. And it's just such an interesting movie. Highly recommend it, because you see like, you know, you see the Karl Rove character, you see the Trumpy character, you see the, you know, the Bernie, you know, sincere left character, you see, you know, you see sort of like all of these things at once, and you see the guy who's like lying about everything he believes because he thinks that's what he has to say because he's a like teenage kid in Texas, you know, and like it's just it like feeds into all of your stereotypes and then defies all of them in the span of 90 minutes to 2 hours. And then The Fight is another sort of super now documentary. It's about the ACLU, and it follows 4 cases that they're fighting the Trump administration on. Child separation, reproductive rights, the census and counting, undocumented immigrants, and there's a 4th one. Oh, the transgender military ban. Really good, really interesting group of people in it. It's just fascinating. And then these last 2 honorable mentions are both non-English films. One is called Under the Open Sky. It's a Japanese movie. And the short version is it's about this guy who was ex-Yakuza, and he gets out of prison after serving a 13-year sentence and sort of tries to move on with his life. It's really good. It's a beautiful film. Could not recommend it enough.
What's it called?
Under the Open Sky.
Under the Open Sky.
Yes. We saw it as part of TIFF, Toronto International Film Festival. And then another movie, that one's good. It's fun. It's a little bit of a downer somewhat because it's, you know, prison, industrial complex, all that stuff. The other one is I don't know what country it's from.
Leroy.
It's called Another Round. It's like a Danish-Swedish film starring everybody's favorite Mads Mikkelsen.
I do love Mads Mikkelsen.
But it's a comedy.
Dude, I want to see Mads being funny. Yeah.
So funny. So the premise is it's sort of these 4 guys who are a little unhappy with their life. And there's this theory one of them either makes up or stumbles upon, that man was born with a blood alcohol content 0.05 below what it should be. So they decide that they are going to live their lives somewhat buzzed and just constantly be at a 0.05 blood alcohol content.
That's kind of funny.
So funny. And of course, you know, it gets out of hand, but it's just so much fun. Highly recommend it. That's another one we watched as part of the Toronto Film Festival, because it was all
Sounds
virtual
amazing.
this year. Yeah, highly recommend it. It's those last two are both subtitled, so you have to sort of be okay with that. But after Parasite, I feel like a lot more people are.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've always been okay with subtitles.
Yeah, no, I know you guys are. All right, so now my top 5. Number 5, Potter, you especially should watch this, but all of you should. It's on Amazon. The Vast of Night.
The Vast of Night.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
It's on my list. Yeah.
It's this.
I wanted to see that in the theaters. Damn.
Yeah, it feels very like early Spielberg and not in a way where like people talk about how things feel early Spielberg, but this really does. It's this like small town. It's in like the 50s, and it's about this girl who's like a radio operator, and she's like sitting in for her mom doing like the switchboard operator. Yeah. And weird things start happening in this like small town. It's shot like they made it for like 700 grand just in this small town in Texas. It's shot wonderfully. Like some of the shots are just like they literally just had a kid in a go-kart like following the actors. Like it's very quick. You know, the talking's very quick. There's not a lot of action to it, but it's really like it's high energy. You know, there's a little bit of effects. There's some, you know, it's very like early Amblin where there's like some supernatural, you know, I don't want to talk about it too much, but watch it.
No, I definitely want to. And the thing about it is I remember that was a big deal because that was one of the first ones that was like a new release being shown in drive-in theaters when the pandemic started, which I still want to go to a I still want to go to a drive-in theater. It was one of the ones that was driving up business because it was showing at drive-in theaters and it was a new movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's on Amazon.
On Amazon. Sweet.
So
I will definitely watch it. Yeah.
Okay, so number 4 is The Assistant. This is one of the last movies I saw in the theater. There are like, having worked in Hollywood as an assistant, there are some like there's certain flashbacks to it that just are like, oh God, I remember this. It's Julia Garner. She was in The Americans. She's on Ozark now, and she's the assistant to like this what's his name, Harvey Weinstein-esque character who you never see in the movie. She's basically in like
because he's obviously off raping people, so
sure. Yeah.
Oh, Harvey.
It's really good. I highly recommend it. It's a little difficult to watch having been an assistant. I have no idea what it's like not having been an assistant to watch it. But it's really good. And it's just sort of a day in the life. And it never gets into like, you know, she's never like backed in a corner or locked in a room. It's just sort of, you know, her and her day and what's going on.
I wrote a comedy not too long ago about being an assistant, you know, so I'm very interested in seeing this.
Yeah, it's not a comedy. I will tell
you
know,
that. But I'm just saying. I'm just
saying it's not. Number 3 is Soul, because for all the reasons Russell said, it's just brilliant. And then number 2, because we already did my number 1, is Eliza Hittman's movie Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always.
Hold on, let me write this down. All these movie titles are like Under the Vast Sky or Vast.
Well, luckily, since I edit these, I'll get them all again. So
I have them all. I mean, I have a list of all the movies I've seen.
Russell, do you even watch the show?
That like 7 people have heard of. I can give it to you. Go see First Cow, which I want to watch again. Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always.
Never
really.
Okay. Thanks, Google Film.
Yes.
All right.
And it's a great title, and it's one of those where it's like, it's not just that the title is in the movie, but like the title is a pivotal, like the moment of the movie.
Interesting.
But the short explanation is it's about these 2 teenage girls in rural Pennsylvania who have to go to New York City so that one of them can get an abortion. And it's not a movie about, you know, do I get the abortion? Do I not? You know, it's not like talking about the morality of it. It's just this girl wants an abortion, and you're seeing how difficult it is for her to do so. It's just so good. Like, I can't.
Oh my God, there's another abortion movie that came out this year. That
Unpregnant.
yes.
Yes, I think that one's a little. This one's sort of the more drama. I think that one's a little more the fun version of it, because this one's not super fun. This one's more
right.
Sorry.
Are they both road movies?
Yeah. Which is sort of like one of the bigger takeaways is that, like, yeah, there's just, for some people in a lot of places, you just can't. It's just not available. Doesn't matter if it's legal. Doesn't matter any of that. It's just, you just can't. It's just not an option. So yeah, and then number 1 is Trial of the Chicago 7.
And that is 2020.
Yes. Now, does anybody have any like other podcasts, video games, comic books, anything else that like music, anything else they saw or listened to or experienced this year that
Yes.
feels worth mentioning?
Yeah.
Hang on. Somebody else go. Just a second.
We'll have Russell go
I have a
first.
visual reference.
I'll go.
Ah.
I have, for video games, I have Jedi Fallen Order in the very beginning. You know, it came out in November, but I didn't get to play it till January. Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I just bought that on the Switch.
That was pure quarantine game because I couldn't go out to buy it because it was sold out in physical stores.
Yeah.
And it was sold out online. It was sold out on Amazon. All the online stores and physical. This game was sold out. I had to buy the digital version from this PlayStation store. Hella good game. And then Spider-Man Miles Morales. That one.
Nice.
Well, I would love to agree with you on Fallen Order, but I showed you where I was stuck and I still cannot figure it out.
Damn, I should come over to your house and just help you.
I hope so. One of these days, Russell, you're always invited, so please come over. I don't really have anything like as far as any of that goes. Go ahead, Kyle. What do you got?
Potter, do you want to go?
Or Potter?
Sure. As far as games go, I've been loving Star Wars Squadrons.
I got that game for Christmas. I haven't played it yet.
It's fantastic. Do you have it on PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Dang. Okay. Oh wait.
I think it's cross-platform.
It's cross-platform.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'll play it. We should play then. All 4 of us. We got to make a squad.
Yeah, I gotta order a headset finally. I know, Dan. I still haven't ordered a headset.
You could probably use that thing. Just attach a mic to it somehow.
Maybe.
Well, I was always told that you can turn any speaker into a microphone. I don't know if that's true.
I mean, maybe physically, technically, but
yeah,
not necessarily logistically.
Anyway, Squadrons has been fun. It is challenging, but I've been getting slowly better at it. And at least figuring out my play style. So, Squadrons is great. We're not doing stuff we're looking forward to yet, right?
No, I think let's finish this and then we can we could just do like 10 minutes on what we're looking forward to.
Yep. Comic book wise, there are many comic books that I love. Anything by Jason Aaron or Donny Cates. Those guys are both awesome. But I think if I had to pick one favorite comic book for this year that I think is absolutely going to be a movie or a TV show soon, is Something is Killing the Children from Boom Studios. There's the full cover. James Tynion is the writer. Werther Dell'Edera is the artist.
I've read his stuff.
Yeah, it's so good. Like I love Boom Studios, first of all, just because they're an independent publisher, and everything I've read from them has been great. Russell knows. Good. He reads some stuff from Boom.
Boom's good. Boom's good. They do good. They do other IPs as well as their own stuff. Yeah. The story, Kyle, you would probably like this too, just because it's fun and different and it's not superhero related. Not that you hate superheroes, but it's a fun read. It's just different.
Yeah. So the whole idea is there is this fraternal organization of monster hunters, essentially, and they dispatch members to certain towns across the globe, because we haven't really been given a lot of background on them, but they're called the Order of St. George. And they're, yeah, like I said, they're all monster hunters. So they go and take care of monsters that are plaguing towns that the public is generally stupid and unaware of. So it's sort of kind of like Supernatural as far as a setup where the general public doesn't really know about these things. So they go in and take care of the problem before it gets worse. Unfortunately, in this book, it gets worse, and one of the organization's monster hunters, named Erica Slaughter, goes and takes care of, or tries to take care of, this monster problem in a little town called Archer's Peak. So I highly recommend it. They kind of subvert your expectations. Like you get a title called Something is Killing the Children, and yeah, you see some kids die quite gruesomely in the book. Like they don't hold back, they don't pull punches. So it's really good. It's really well written. The story's interesting. If you guys want to borrow this sometime, this is the first volume. Second one is out now, I think. So yeah, I'll probably pick that up at some point. Podcast wise, just since we are doing a podcast, you guys should listen to these two. Team Deacons is great. It's Roger Deakins and his wife, just talking about their careers. They bring on guests that they interview here and there. I know Denis Villeneuve is on an episode that I haven't gotten to yet. Really interesting stuff just to hear them talk about where they came from, how they started, and then different topics within the industry, anything from like location scouting to the digital workflow from camera to post and that kind of stuff. It's fascinating. And they're just lovely people. Go figure. And then the second one is called Smartless. Just started listening to this on the drive to and from Tennessee, and it's hilarious. It's Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett, and that's all I need to say, because those three guys have been friends forever. They're doing a podcast now. The very first episode is pretty great. The last one we listened to, I think it's episode 6, they had Will Ferrell on there. Right before that, they had now Vice President Kamala Harris. They interviewed her. Somehow they booked her. I don't know how they did it, but yeah, she was awesome. Like she's just a lovely person. Neil deGrasse Tyson was on an episode. So it's pretty much those three guys fucking around, having fun, making fun of each other, and also interviewing a guest that one of them brings on each episode. So yeah, it's a good, fun listen. So there you go.
Nice. Did you have anything, Dan? I'm going to take him walking away as a no.
He doesn't care.
All right. So for my other stuff, I'll start with podcasts. The two big recommendations for me is just anything from Pod Save America.
Nice. Yep.
Unless you're sick of politics, which I get. But it's a good sort of like ongoing primer. It is from like sort of a left perspective. It's previous Obama staffers who created the network, but highly recommend it. And then over at The Ringer, there's a podcast called The Big Picture, which is sort of the way I keep up with other podcasts, but that's sort of the main one that I'm obsessed with, that sort of keeps me up to date on sort of like the movies. I mean, they cover like everything from, they just did a pod on like Wonder Woman and Soul. They also cover like more Oscar baity kind of movies, you know, You're Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always. They talked about The Assistant. They talked about Trial of Chicago 7. They talk about everything. You know, they also do a lot of stuff that Dan would listen to and be super frustrated that he's not in on the conversation. Like they'll do like a Hall of Fame they just did a Hall of Fame for George Clooney, where they chose like the top 10 movies that like, these are the ones that are like George Clooney's Mount Rushmore, the ones that you have to include. So they do a lot of that kind of stuff.
I like those things. Yes.
And I really like them. Yeah. As far as video games, the two I'm going to shout out are Animal Crossing New Horizons on the Switch. I played a lot of that when that first came out.
Did you play with Kamala Harris? Because I think she's playing that.
Harris, no. Sadly, I did not. And then Destiny 2 started its 4th year.
Wow, 4 years already?
Back near the end of the year in like October. with its newest sort of bigger expansion, Beyond Light.
Sweet.
And they've already announced their like expansion for year 5 and their expansion for year 6, so it's going at least 2 more years. But yeah,
Well,
it's
I just
90% of my
game.
video game time is Destiny 2. So, you know, and then occasionally some Squadrons or something else. But yeah, Dan, did you have any other media that you wanted to mention?
I mean, I really don't, because all the games I've been playing are old games. Like I said, I bought a Switch, but everything is nothing that's came out this year except for, well, I did buy, it's not here yet, but I bought Crash Bandicoot number 4. So I'm pretty excited about Crash Bandicoot for Xbox One. So that's coming. I think it's called About Time, which I think means the time travel thing. I think that's what it's called. It's something like along those lines, or maybe that's the tagline. But yeah, as far as as that goes, like I'm reading Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time, which is a massive 15-book series. Each book is almost 1,000 pages. It's a fantasy series I've been reading since I was 25 years old, so almost 20 years now. And I just decided to get back into it because he passed away a couple years ago. But he another guy picked up his 2,000-page manuscript on what was going to be the last book, and he said, "Well, I can't do this in one book, so we're going to split it into 3." But the reason I mentioned it is it's going to be a TV series. It's called The Wheel of Time, and it's going to be on Amazon. So Amazon is doubling down on the fantasy. Got Lord of the Rings coming, and Wheel of Time has a very rabid fan base. Like it's more popular than Game of Thrones. Like it's a more popular book series than Fire and Ice was. Fire and Ice became a phenomenon once the show got picked up. Like it was a bestseller, but Wheel of Time has been the standard of fantasy books since it came out. So for like 30, 40 years, like that's the standard that people hold fantasy to, not Tolkien, but Robert Jordan. You ask any fantasy writer, Robert Jordan's who they look to. So, because I always like to say that Robert Jordan, he took what Tolkien, kind of created and made it adult. He made it accessible to people who didn't read it as a child. So anyway, I highly recommend, like, when that show comes out, watching it. I wouldn't say read the books, because like I said, that's 15,000 pages you're getting yourself into. Plus there's a couple prequels books. So it's a lot. It's a lot to go. And like I said, 20 years I've been into that series. But anyway, that's pretty much it, man. Like I've been watching a lot of old stuff. Like that's it. A lot of old movies, going through some Stallone stuff because I'm working for the man on his new movie. So I've been going through all my old Stallone movies. Just watch Death Race 2000, which we mentioned that off pod. I highly recommend it to you guys to watch it. Like, I'm glad Kyle was so into it. I was hoping somebody would know what it is, but yeah, it's a wonderful 70s exploitation sci-fi Mad Max style movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know it too, Josh? Okay. Good.
Oh yeah, Death Race. Yeah. I just didn't pipe up. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyway, that's all for me. That's all for me. As far as looking forward to 2021, I'll just get it out quick. Snyder Cut, which we don't have to talk about because you guys know I'm looking forward to that. Other than that, I'm just looking forward to sometime this year getting back into a movie theater. That's what I'm looking forward to. I want to see Tenet on IMAX before I see it anywhere.
Same. I haven't watched Tenet yet because I'm waiting for a true cinematic experience.
Yeah,
exactly.
Same.
Okay, so let's really quick, because we've been doing this for too long already, and I have to go pick up groceries. So let's talk 2021 movies, TV, other stuff. It's interesting because it gets a little difficult as you get further out this year, because we don't really know what's coming out. We know some of the stuff. I'm just gonna put the kibosh on any Marvel or Star Wars conversations right now.
Yeah.
We know that there's Marvel TV shows coming out. We know that there's Marvel movies coming out. We'll have conversations about those as they come, and we've had conversations about those. Everybody knows about those, so we can just move right past those. But does anybody have any TV, just like 1 or 2 shows or anything that you guys are really excited about?
Off the top of my head,
what's new though? Like I don't even know, because are new shows starting?
So we're supposed to be. So the stuff, I'll just give you my stuff really quick. We're supposed to be getting a new season of Stranger Things this year.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which after season 3, I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
we're getting the new Gossip Girl.
Ooh.
Oh, right.
Which
Uh-huh.
I can't not be excited about that. And then maybe the show, the sort of the new show that I'm most excited about finally happening is Why the Last Man.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Like
Fun.
finally. I've been just like, that was one of that and like Preacher are the only two like big, long, multi-year like comics that I've fully actually read through.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are both great.
Super excited for
Those
that.
are both great titles. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I forgot about Why the Last Man. That's a good one
Yeah.
that's coming out.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head that'll be new or going into a new season that comes out in 2021. Other than I would assume we'll get Ted Lasso and Mythic Quest, which those two will be great. Yeah. Other than the other, the big franchise stuff that we are putting the kibosh on. Yeah.
Well, Dune. Well, we're talking about movies. I mean, Dune.
Oh,
we're talking about.
Dune.
We're talking about TV stuff.
We were talking about TV, yeah.
Only
I mean, Russell,
TV.
do you have any other shows?
Just after this pod, I'm going to finish off the last 5 episodes of Cobra Kai, and then after that, I have nothing but WandaVision. Nothing.
All right. Okay, yeah. So now we can talk movies. Dune, which hopefully will be out late enough in the year that we can see it in theaters.
I
hope
want
so.
to. It sounds like they got their way, like because they were pretty pissed, about.
Yeah.
And Patty Jenkins also they fast tracked Wonder Woman 3, but Patty Jenkins said like there's no way I'm doing it unless it's for sure in the theater. So
yeah, I mean, she'll make Rogue Squadron first, hopefully.
Oh yeah, he will. Yeah, Wonder Woman 3 is like 5 years off. Yeah, we're good. DC has way too much in the pipeline to worry about that one right now. But anyway, yeah, Dune is my number one for next. It was my number one for this year. Even with all the stuff that was coming out, comic book wise and everything. But obviously, it got pushed to 2021. But I am very, very much looking forward to Dune.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Oh, and the Suicide Squad. Oh, but
yeah.
Although we're not covering. Although that's not Marvel or Star Wars, but
yeah, so I don't care.
Don't we get a new, jumping back to TV just real quick? Don't we get a new season of The Witcher in 2021?
I think so.
Well, they were shooting it, so
yeah.
I didn't see the
that
first
for sure.
Witcher's good.
It's
good.
fun.
Yeah, I'm still playing that game. So
the third one,
like salute to Keegan Allen who brought that up to us years ago and said we'd be playing it for years. He was right. Although I want to mention him because isn't Keegan on a TV show? Speaking of TV shows, he's in
the new Walker Texas Ranger show.
Yes.
I'm
excited for that too. Yes.
I want to see that. So
Jared Padalecki's going to be.
I love Jared Padalecki. Yeah, and Keegan Allen's one of the nicest dudes in Hollywood. I'm very happy he's still working. Like, good for him.
Yeah.
Yep. And he's a huge nerd, and it's amazing.
He is. He loves it. He's always at E3. I bet he was dying this year because there was no E3.
Probably.
But
I wonder if he plays Squadrons. I bet he does.
I don't know. He was more
surprise me.
Yeah.
He is more of an RPG open world kind of guy. Yeah.
He probably plays Cyberpunk, which I have, but apparently is really buggy unless you have the new system. But the good thing is I can use this. I can use this disc on the new system when I eventually get it. So
yeah,
nice. Yeah, I know somebody that has it that hasn't had any bugs yet and has been playing it on Xbox One. I think maybe on his computer. He's been playing it on PC.
Okay, fine. PC. If you got a decent PC, it runs fine.
Yeah.
The older it gets, the worse it is.
But they'll fix it. They'll send out a patch.
They will. They'll patch it. It's fine.
Maybe. There's some questions about, because it's an ambitious game in a lot of ways. So there will be questions about if they can get it to work. If it's is the problem in what they've done as for, like, is it bugs? Is it just fixing things, or is it just too much for those systems?
Right.
And I don't know the answer to that. But as far as movies, most of what the uninteresting ones to discuss, No Time to Die, Quiet Place 2, Godzilla vs. Kong, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Top Gun Maverick, Mission Impossible 7, Matrix 4.
I have something to say regarding Ghostbusters Afterlife. And I think I texted you guys this. So the guy that just came onto the show I'm working on now, the movie I'm working on now, he's not the assistant editor on Afterlife. He's the editor of Afterlife.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So he's the actual editor. And he said that, he was happy with the product they were going to put out last summer. However, he said in the time that they gave them to tinker with it, he says this is so much better. He says this version is so much better. And I was like, oh my God, you got me so excited. So, and I don't want him to give me any details. I told him, I was like, no details.
No, don't.
And he was like, no, I'm very, very proud of this. And I'm like, sweet.
So the other two that I think could use just a briefest moment of conversation, at least on one of these, Free Guy. Have you guys seen the trailer for this?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's Ryan Reynolds is an NPC in an open world game that is being shut down, and he's trying to stay alive. And it just looks so much fun. It's got Jodie Comer from Killing Eve. It looks super fun. If you haven't seen the trailer, go check it out.
I will check it out.
And then the last one I have is Oscar year. It's technically 2020, but it is coming out, I think, next month. Starring Stephen Yeun. It's called Minari. I don't know if you guys have heard about this movie. It's about a Korean family who moves to Arkansas to start a farm in the 80s, and it's supposed to be incredible. Like, he's supposed to be perfect in it. There's been some weird controversy with it because the Golden Globes is not considering it an American film because it's mostly in Korean. Because it's a Korean family, even though it was like shot in the States, it's
takes place in the States.
It's an American movie. It's just in Korean. So
yeah,
it's ridiculous. That's stupid. That's the stupidest thing.
It's so 2020. That's so 2020.
Yeah. If Tarantino does it, it's fine. But yeah, but it's supposed to be an incredible movie. I've been waiting to see this one for like months.
I want to see Minari. Everyone in my community has been telling me to watch it. I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, like Stephen Yeun is sort of doing what like everybody wishes they could do, which is like go be on the big show, make all the money, and then just make whatever, just be in whatever the fuck you want.
Just do whatever you want.
Like just be good in just whatever he wants.
I like him, and I'll have to watch that when it comes out. I hadn't heard about it, but that premise sounds amazing. Like that. Yeah, that sounds like a lot.
Yeah, it's
all right. Well,
anybody else have movies? You guys named all the ones I'm excited.
To me,
about.
it's Raya and the Last Dragon.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep. Yeah. That's mainly mine, and then the other ones like No Time to Die. We said it already.
Yeah.
Top Gun, and then Shang-Chi. I mean, that's Marvel. Okay, that's all.
It's okay. It's okay. You can mention it. I just didn't want to get into a conversation about it.
Yeah. I'm super excited for Shang-Chi as well.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
And one last, it's just a couple that I have here under video games.
I got one. But
in theory, we should be getting Halo Infinite.
Yes.
They did like a big preview, and then the response was not super great, so they sort of pulled it back, and they brought back in the guy who wrote the original trilogy for Halo.
Great. Nice.
So there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot of like Xbox's next gen cred writing on that. So fingers crossed. Super excited for the Mass Effect remastered original trilogy.
Oh yeah, I'll be picking that up
to the new consoles. Yeah, I'm super excited for that. Hopefully Diablo 4.
Oh, really?
They announced, they showed some of Diablo 4 back in 2019, and Blizzard has a tendency to not announce dates until it's pretty close.
StarCraft 2.
Yeah. It's like, so it's out yesterday. We forgot to tell you guys.
Sorry.
And then
go buy it.
It came out 2 years ago, but we didn't promote it.
I'm super interested in this. I hadn't heard about this one until recently. Even though J.K. Rowling is a nightmare garbage person, Hogwarts Legacy is, at least on paper, a really interesting idea. It's you're in the 1800s, you're going to school at Hogwarts, and it's like this open world Hogwarts game.
I haven't watched anything, but I've heard about this. Yeah.
So fuck J.K. Rowling. Game sounds interesting. And last but not least, I need to finish playing. I just started over the first one because I got super stuck halfway through, and I'm like, I just need to relearn how to play this game because it's been 2 years. A sequel to Breath of the Wild is supposed to be coming out this year.
Nice.
And the rare
really?
Zelda direct sequel, which you don't often get.
Well, there's been two other Zelda games on Switch besides Breath of the Wild. The one I mentioned, Hyrule Warriors, which just came out. Not really like a Zelda game, but still fun.
Yeah.
But wasn't there another one that looked kind of like Wind Waker? Or am I tripping?
I mean, they may have done. They keep doing sort of like re-releases of stuff.
Yeah,
let me look
Phantom
really quick.
Hourglass that has the same art as Wind Waker. That's getting re-released.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Link's Awakening.
Yeah, that came out earlier this year.
Yeah,
Maybe
I think
that's it.
that was
Maybe
re-released.
maybe that's it.
That's a little. It is a little more animated.
But
Yeah, that's probably what
that's a
you're thinking
remake.
of.
That's a remake of an old game.
That's a remake of a Game Boy game. It's good.
Oh, okay.
It's a good game. But
Nice.
yeah, that's sort of a top-down, slash with your sword kind of.
Well,
Okay.
I started playing, like I was telling you guys, off pod. I got the Switch and I have the old Nintendo games. I started playing the original Zelda, just for the hell of it,
Yeah.
and it's kind of fun. But holy shit, that game's hard.
It's hard when you don't
It
remember
is.
where the dungeons
That's what I'm saying.
are
I
and
can't
all
figure
the
out where to
hearts are.
go.
Yeah,
I
it
keep
can-
going
it
around
can
in
get very
circles.
difficult very quickly.
The
Yeah.
fighting not so much, but just the
Yeah.
puzzle part.
That's
So-
all I got. Potter, you said you had a video game before we head
I
out?
have two video
Okay.
games, actually. I almost forgot about this other one. Technically, the release dates for these are 2022 and 2023, but
Mhm.
I've been tracking one for the last year. The other one I just recently found out about. So the one that releases in 2023 is from a Chinese indie developer called Game Science, and it's called Black Myth Wukong. It is based on the classic 16th century novel Journey to the West.
Oh, I
Ooh.
saw that.
Those
yeah.
movies are great. Are they any
Black
connection?
Myth Wukong. That looked. I saw the footage for it.
It looks incredible. If you guys haven't seen the gameplay footage that they put out on YouTube already, go watch it. It looks stunning. I mean, I'm really excited for this game. Like, and I'm not always a huge action RPG fan per se,
What's wrong with you?
but
Wait a minute. Yeah, you are. You love Elder Scrolls.
well, I do. Yes, but well, I guess this is actually not. Never mind. I take it back. This is going to be kind of an open world thing, so I will
Mhm.
definitely be like. Even if I wasn't an action RPG fan, this looks incredible.
Wait,
so, yeah,
weren't
it's-
you the one that sent it to the group chat? I think that's
I
how
did.
I saw it. Yeah, that's how I,
I
saw
did.
it.
Yeah,
Like, oh,
yeah. It looks amazing. So yeah, it'll feature the Monkey King and all of the mythology and
Monkey
lore
King.
from Journey to the West. So lots of supernatural Asian influences and things, demons and Oni and all kinds of stuff. Like it just looks really good. Really
Question.
good.
is it
Yeah.
for PS4, 5, or Xbox X, whatever?
What comes up is PS4, Xbox One, and Windows, but I wonder if they'll, since it's coming out in 2023, if they'll release it for next gen consoles as well. I would think they would want to take advantage of the next gen technology, but who knows? I mean, we'll see. Just the gameplay footage they put out looked incredible on whatever system they were playing it on. I would imagine Windows probably was the test footage. So that's one. The one that comes out theoretically before that in 2022 is called the Callisto Protocol. And this is going to be another sci-fi horror survival game from the guys that did Dead Space, but it's an entirely different story. It's set on a prison colony on Jupiter's dead moon Callisto. Watch the trailer footage that they put out. It looks horrifying. I mean, in a good way. Like it looks wild. It looks like basically what should have been Dead Space 4. Dead Space 4 should have happened. I think it's pretty much dead now. Kind of like a sequel to Half-Life, which we could talk about for an entire pod, probably. I'm still sad about that. That might be a fun pod, actually. Video games that are now dead or not happening. There was a Stargate one. There was a couple of Star Wars games. Anyway, yeah, I'm very excited for the Callisto Protocol as well, because it looks terrifying. And just the trailer footage alone gave me the same feeling I had when I first played Dead Space in the dark. And the atmosphere of that game is incredible. So same guys. I have a feeling this one's going to be every bit as good, if not better, because they're going to take everything they learned from the Dead Space trilogy and, pump it into overdrive for this from the way it looks. So watch the trailer from this and don't get too scared, guys.
Nice.
Okay.
And it's exciting. Yeah, I loved Dead Space, so that's great.
Yeah.
Russell, you got anything else?
No, I don't.
All right, then I guess that will do it for our 2020 year in review / 2021 look forward. Does anybody have any last words for 2020 besides fuck off and die?
That's
No,
pretty
much sums it up.
Yeah, thank you, and I'm letting you go.
I'm just
Did you just
know
Marie
what?
Kondo 2020?
Yes, I did. Yes.
It's not you.
Oh,
it's
Kyle-
me.
was
It's
Kyle not
you,
on
it's
that?
me.
Was Kyle not on that pod when Russell went off on Maria Kondo, like a good way? Oh man, it was Well, yeah, I just like to say I hope that 2020 this begins the new Roaring 20s, because we did pretty well after the Great Depression. So hopefully, that was the last event like this that just affected us so bad. So hopefully we come out roaring.
Technically, the Great Depression was after the Roaring 20s.
Oh, you're right. It was 29. Huh?
Yeah.
What? Oh, the war. It was the war.
Yeah, it was after World War I and a pandemic. So.
Oh yeah, Spanish flu.
Yeah.
Yep.
So all right. Well, I'm Kyle Bound. Whoever wants to go next, go.
Daniel
for it.
Villalobos.
Here you go.
Russell Fung.
Joshua Potter.
This has been The Way We Nerd, and we will see you next time.